Hey everybody, it's JD Paladin here. It's time once again for the Haunted World of CW review. I've been having some trouble even trying to bring this one up to, even a quality that I can appreciate, but I think I kind of got nailed down what I want to do here. And this is Season 6, Episode 8. So without any further ado, let's just get right to it. I'm actually going to not do the synopsis this time, I'm just going to do my thoughts, and I'm going to try and keep things in order. And we'll kind of go with that. First off, we see that Constance is back, and we kind of, in the very beginning, at least, we saw, the episode, basically, we kept on going from where we left off with Jesse and Jorge running off from the super mutants that are now in Briar's Woods, and to see Jesse take on that kind of a leadership role, I thought was pretty cool. I definitely thought that was a neat thing. It's kind of nice to see him and Jorge kind of getting along, kind of like him and Paco used to do. I think he bonds with the cameraman pretty well, and I kind of like that. It seems pretty neat. Constance, however, is very sorry about the King James thing. There's no way that she could have known, but she still feels kind of guilty, which is nice to know that she actually cares. And also, because of the damage to the hotel room, well, apparently she only made about $15 off the whole deal. Now, if you ask me, that's a jip. She got robbed on that one, because when you're an exorcist of sorts, when you're a paranormal investigator, damage to things that are being rented in the line of duty, that kind of it goes with the territory. So, if you ask me, all prices should have included damages, which means she should have got paid her normal amount, or what they were promising, and then, they should have also paid for the damage to the hotel room, because, let's face facts, she got rid of a ghost for them, okay? Seriously, Constance and Whisper got rid of a freaking ghost, and we weren't even sure this was going to work. So, but, it did, and, moving on, she's now kind of afraid of her power, which I understand, but one thing that you have to remember is that the longer that you have magic, the longer you kind of go with it, and, kind of expect it, I guess you would say, to evolve. Let's face facts. We all saw Charmed in the 90s, unless you weren't born then. And, if you haven't seen Charmed yet, I think it's still on Netflix. Go frickin' watch it. Watch it now. It was one of the best things to come out of the 90s. Seriously, one of the best things to come out of the 90s since Kaylee Cuoco. Alright? And even she was in it in the last season. Sweet. Alright. Next thing is that we see a sort of inner monologue from Jesse, who earlier tried to spook Constance into blasting him hard enough that he ended up at Birdie 44's place. I thought that was just hilarious. But as it turns out, he's kind of got some concerns, because when he was over in the murder house and he started sniffing the blood and everything, I posited in the last review that having been possessed by the hell virus, he would know what fresh blood smells like. But being a little more sensitive to it ever since he'd been bitten by a werewolf, I kind of forgot he had done that. So it's a neat little callback, and it's nice to see that something's finally being done with that. So yeah, you got that, and that's pretty cool. Then, of course, Constance pays him back by spooking him, but she's got a little something that'll spook anybody. And that's Mary's body. Apparently, she went back and picked up the car child. Yeah, that's for you, Whisper. And put him into, or put her, gosh, I keep doing that. Put her into a garbage bag. And a dollar store one at that. Apparently, they only had $15 to their name, and that was the 15 she earned from that. So, take my advice, Constance. Renegotiate that fee. But they're using Mama Williamson's skull that Claire retrieved during the Jesse possessed as a holovirus, Cobra Commander style incident, which is covered in Season 3, which that retrospective is coming. I've just been kind of distracted. I'm kind of working on a new project right now, and I'm kind of super into it, so it's not the reason these videos are late. That's just shooting schedule. That just is what it is. I mean, work's been crazy lately. But apparently they've worked a magic that where if the mother's skull cries blood, the ground is defiled and tainted, and you can't bury her there, otherwise she won't move on. But if she cries normal tears or water, the ground's okay. And so they buried her in some freaking cold-ass snowy weather, and yeah, so they think it works. It's like, okay, yeah, well, and Constance gets the idea, well, let's test it. Let's play the Bloody Mary game. Like it's a Milton Bradley thing. So she looks at the mirror and she says she says it 3 times, bloody, Beetlejuice, 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 right? Except it's Bloody Mary, and well, you get the rest. I'm not that stupid. Just in case. And sure enough, nothing happens, and she's like, okay, great. And then horror trope number, I don't know which one, but it's probably number 2, is that if you're playing the Bloody Mary game and you turn your back on the mirror, you're done. And sure enough, Mary says, let's have one more round on my home ground, bitch. So, next thing you know, gets pulled right into the mirror, and there's Jesse going, that was your fault. That was your fault. That was your fault. Much better, of course, than me, but yeah. Overall, this episode I thought was pretty poignant as a setup for a final confrontation. Really, the whole thing to me it reeks of the American Slipmouth Woman Pretty Penny incident all over again, because that's the same way that Penny was summoned into the world, but the difference is that I guess Mary can only exist in the mirror world now, which is a thing that gets on in the next episode, and that's really cool, but, there's a whole lot of tropes that are going on, and they actually work. Usually when people say trope, it's a negative thing, but honestly, to me, they're storytelling mechanics, and I honestly think that this time it really worked out great. My only concerns are still the Nicolas Cage thing with Whisper. Honestly, really? What? Come on, did you see Ghost Rider? Or Ghost Rider 2? Or even Kick-Ass? Sorry, I didn't mean to bring it up. But yeah, that worries me. That and the fact that she thought you can bend your forearms. I think she meant elbows. Yeah. It's just kind of confusing sometimes. But yeah, so there's those. And it's funny. It really is funny. So, there's a lot of entertainment in between the incredible scares. I thought Jesse's reaction to Constance being pulled in was pretty understandable. That's what I would have done too, so, And I've always thought that since they brought him on board, Jesse's actually been an amazing addition to the group. I thought he's always kind of, he's played the bait, but he's also kind of been more along the lines of the voice of reason, because let's face facts, I mean, he may be the Shaggy of the group. His obsession with tacos and a certain herb, kind of proved that. But at the same time, he's the one sitting there saying, really, do we really have to do this? Why do we have to keep doing this spooky stuff? Why can't I just go visit Britty, And quite frankly, I can see why he would say that, so, but that's just, it's those little things, just those little tiny things that really make an episode, and this one really hit it out of the park. Whisper's reaction to holding her mother's skull, that was freaking epic. I mean, I honestly thought, oh, it's my mother's skull, how dare you? That would have been me. Literally, that would have been me, okay? She actually handled herself with aplomb, okay? And I loved it. Anyway, so it looks like my equipment malfunctions are kind of fixed. I'm going to be getting the next episode review. I believe this was episode 8's review. I believe the next one is 9. And then this next one, they really kind of summed up the Bloody Mary thing, and let me tell you, it was done really well. But that's another story for another time. In the meantime, well, be sure to like, comment, and don't forget to sub, please. That all that really helps. And also, down in the description, there's going to be a link so that I can improve the quality of the videos. It's a PayPal donation link that I'm going to be using. All the funds are going to go towards equipment and the stream. Well, not the stream. I do stream sometimes from Twitch, but I'll let you know when I'm doing that. It goes towards the channel because I'm trying to improve the quality of the vids. I want to do intro things, outro things, credits, titles, all that stuff. And I kind of want to add a little bit of a musical ambiance here. And let me tell you, the YouTube editor thing, the video editing, it's not all it's cracked up to be. It really isn't. So, anyway. This is JD Paladin, saying until next time, stay righteous.